haven't changed the song yet, but I like the opening.
It's
vibing.
OG, I guess, you know? I wrote it myself, actually.
Yeah, right.
Welcome back to Two Baltimorons. My name is Christian Olson, here with Sam Berizzi and our guest, Chris Wade. What's going on, man?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Good.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. Rainy day here in Baltimore, and wish the sun was out. It's chilly. Very chilly. Very chilly. But, Chris, thank you for joining us. We're excited to have you. I know Mike invited you out, and wish he was here as well, but it doesn't sound like you've ever been on a podcast, but you sound great on the mic, man. Yeah. Really excited to dive into like what you do, get to know who you are, and how have things been? We had a guys trip recently, we missed out.
Yeah, tragically, the person that I work with also decided to go on a trip that time, so I was stuck.
Oh man. Well, it was fun. We stayed at a cabin up in PA. Have you ever met Jeff Bisker before? The insurance guy?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to be listening to the podcast and be like cracking the fuck up here in a second. But I rode with him, and we literally drove an hour in the wrong direction. 100%. So we hop in the car. He throws in an address, and I don't think anything of it. He throws it in, and it has like a very similar like drive time, right? And so I'm like, all right, cool. We're good. And I just keep seeing like signs going north. I'm like, at what point do we go west? Because it's like the State College area. And about 2 hours into the ride, he's like, hey, can you make sure I put in the right address? And I look at it, and he has us going to like fucking New York. And we have to be on like the northwestern side of PA. So it's safe to say that dinner was a little late on that. What was the first night? Like
so it turns into a 6-hour drive?
Yeah, literally, quite like a 6-hour drive.
Oh man, Jeff, it's okay. Buddy,
and then on the way back, we like we're headed to his house. Obviously, that's where we met up and left to go. But he put in his home address at first, and then like I grabbed his phone just to make sure it was the right address, even though it was his house. I was like, I don't want that to happen.
Not twice.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But it was a fun time, man.
And I do have to ask, because you're wearing your orange. I'm wearing Capitals today. Not to segue, but did you make it to opening day? Because
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. We did a few things, but I had to work that day, so.
Yep.
We did a little bit of activities.
And when you mean work, I know you're the business owner of Your Wheels Are Here. Is that the main gig that you have in the business that you're running?
That's my business. So that's kind of the main thing. I do a little side thing also at one of the restaurants to kind of piece things together for myself.
And what's the business?
It's called Your Wheels Are Here. So it's a valet company.
Nice.
We're based in Little Italy.
Wow.
For 3 of the restaurants down there.
Nice.
And something I had seen, I never knew this about you. You're from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Baltimore.
Yeah.
It sounds like college brought you out this way.
Essentially in a roundabout way. So my parents are from Baltimore, like not Baltimore, but southern Maryland. So around Clinton area.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah.
I got family from down there.
Oh, nice. So my dad went to high school there. My mom went to high school in that area as well. And when my dad retired from the military, he took a job for BAE Systems up in Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he was actually here when I think my senior or junior year of high school.
Okay.
So then when I finished, my parents, my mom, my sister, they moved here. I stayed and kind of did college in Oklahoma. I went to Ohio for a year, and then I was like, okay, let me get some in-state action.
Okay, so are you originally from here? Or are you originally from Oklahoma?
No, I was actually born in Germany.
Whoa.
So my military.
Do you remember any part of that?
Zero.
Okay.
I think I was gone by like six months or something.
Wow.
Like that,
okay, so really young. Have you been any other places outside of like Germany or Oklahoma, like being in a military family?
No, I feel like I was pretty fortunate because we pretty much like traveled through. So I think we did like a stop through in Florida where my mom had a lot of family.
Okay.
And then it was like Oklahoma. We moved to a couple different houses.
Yeah.
But I was like, my dad stayed stationed at that same base for pretty much until he retired. So it would have been like 16, 17 years.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of work with military and real estate, and then I have a handful of friends that are in the military as well. Yeah. And we always see them pop around from like base to base or PCS and even deploy. So like, I mean, even growing up, like my buddy Matt moved up to New Jersey. At one point he was living with his mom, and like lived in Colorado for a bit, and I think he even said it was either Japan or another like Asian country. I think it was Japan for a little bit. But he would bounce around from spot to spot, just being in a military family, and he's now in the military.
Yeah.
So I've like throughout our friendship, he's been in a whole bunch of different areas as well. So
yeah, I think some of it is also based upon like choice. If you want to like take a particular
job.
Yeah. My dad went to Korea for like a year, I think it was one time, but that was it. Like
Was that before you were born?
No, I was alive.
Did he give you the option to go? That would have been sick.
That would have been pretty cool. I think I was like second grade or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty young.
And then what brought you, I guess, back to the Baltimore area?
I was living in Southern Maryland for a couple years.
Like down in that Clinton area?
Yeah. So farther. So like California,
St. Mary's, yeah.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
Mechanicsville, yeah.
You were down.
I
was
down there.
I was way down there.
Yeah.
So I was there for a little bit, and then ended up applying to go to Towson. So that's really what brought me to the Baltimore area.
That's legit, man. It's not like, I don't know, it is a small Baltimore, I guess people call it. But like being from Southern Maryland, when I run into another Southern Marelander up here, it's like, oh my God, no way. Like, I'm proving to Mike that another world does exist below Anne Arundel County.
Every time you are though.
Literally, like
Maryland.
anytime you bring up Southern Maryland, Mike's like, "What is that?" Like it does not exist to anybody from the Baltimore area. Like under Anne Arundel County, might as well have been nuked. Like it's just not even there. Like non-existent on the map.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
There's not much down there, but it's
no, there's really not. I mean, like you have like a lot of like little beachy areas as well, but there's no like big like city like Annapolis. I mean, you have like Waldorf, which is kind of built up, but 301's a fucking mess. I don't know if you've been down there within the last couple of years, but like that highway rolling through 5 and 301 meet coming from like that DC area. Oh my God, there's always traffic, but there's really not much down there other than like some beaches. I mean, you have the what is the Marine Museum down there? Like the Chesapeake Marine Museum down at Solomon's Island where the bridge is, and then you have like the tiki bar. So there's like some things to do, but it's not like the city kind of life or vibe. You're really far out.
I wasn't doing much down there.
Yeah, no, not at all. And then I don't know if you've ever been to, I guess it's St. Mary's College down there, and I've gone down there for one showing, like for a house, and there was like a little deli gas station kind of thing, and literally outside of that, I haven't seen shit.
Like on the right side, like a deli and a pizza shop.
Yeah. And I'm like, what do people do down here? Like is there a bar or a restaurant? They're like, yeah, there's one, but like then people just get like they go out and party, like I guess at whatever apartments they live at. Like Southern Maryland is a different kind of vibe, and that's why I love the Baltimore area, is because it's like so diverse. There's so many different things. I don't know. The people are all different, if that makes sense.
But speaking of Baltimore, because now I'm curious. So you were in Southern Maryland, where Christian loves. He can talk about it for a bit. Where are you now? Or where do you live now?
I now live in Little Italy.
Okay.
You live in Little Italy. Bro, that'd be dangerous.
For about 5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you eat Italian food?
Took it out of my mouth.
No, what? We shaking your head? No.
Too. So much to the point that I will be right there and decide that I need to eat something else and like order it.
So Little Italy's a staple. I mean, going down there, I swam at Loyola, so used to going there after swim meets and going to like Sabatino's, the La Scala, all the staples. What would you say are like 3 hidden gems that are down in Little Italy that people may not know about?
So I would say D'Alessio's.
I don't think I've been there.
Is one that people probably don't think about.
D'Alessio's, okay.
Just because it's a little bit off the hidden. It's not on the main strip.
Okay.
It's right on the corner of Eastern Avenue. Paul owns the restaurant. He does a fantastic job. They have good food.
Okay.
So that is definitely one. A second one, which maybe not really quite as hidden, but it's new. Benny's just opened up in one of the other restaurants. He's been in Little Italy for a little bit, and it was Joe Benny's.
Okay.
And so now he's kind of into a bigger space and a little more restaurant.
Okay.
So,
that's a vibe.
Yeah, so those are 2.
I remember I not to interrupt, but I've been to Joe Benny's before, and it was a little bit of a tighter space. It was kind of like a hole in the wall thing.
Yeah.
But what was funny as shit it was like whatever he said goes. Yes. So like even on the menu, it had like whatever they offer, but he could bring in the order and be like, "No, I'm not fucking making it." And I don't know if that's exactly how it worked, but I remember going in there and seeing like, yeah, I mean the chef can say yes or no in a way, which I was like, I respect this, you know, really really cool. We went there and I think we got some pizza. They had some really really interesting pizza, and then I want to say they had some fantastic meatballs that I had there.
Yeah, he's got great meatballs. Focaccia pizza. Is delicious.
Yeah. I say focaccia pizza is like you don't get that too often.
No, not really.
I don't hear about that often actually.
Have you ever had focaccia bread?
No. Oh yeah.
It's real like airy and like fluffy.
Very good.
Good Lord. You go to Trader Joe's, they make a kind of like a pepperoni and cheese one, and then they also have like an onion and I think jalapeno. I'll fuck that up real quick.
Well, okay, so those are two. You don't need to give three because
those are two. Like, like you said, the other ones are staples. You know,
right.
Sabatinos and Ciparelli's. They've been there for 70 years.
Yeah.
And La Scala's been there. I don't know.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
At least 25, I think.
And then, So you live in Little Italy. Your wheels are here. Where do you guys typically operate out of? Because at some point, I think I spoke with Mike and John. Like when we originally met, like I was like, "Oh, how do you guys know Chris Wade?" They kind of gave me like your backstory. And I think you were doing valet down there at one point. Is your wheels are here operating out of Little Italy, or do you have?
Operating out of Little Italy, which is pretty much the same location. Like that's like you said, that's how I met John and Mike.
You guys used to do valet back in the day, right?
Yeah. So,
I can only imagine that.
So it was mainly John at that point.
Oh, really?
And so like I got the job for the person that started this valet company, and he's like, "Oh yeah, come in on Friday." And I was looking for something part-time while being at Towson, and then I show up and John's there, and I'm like, "Who's this guy?" And John's like, "Who's this guy?" I was like, he told me I'm starting today.
That's so funny.
So then we became friends, but we set up right in the middle of High Street and Fawn Street, and there's kind of one singular location for 3 of the restaurants that we valet for.
Okay,
so that you go, but I have a few questions.
Well, I guess we say like parking is very, very limited in some places. Yeah. Baltimore, like Little Italy's tight. I mean, I imagine you guys have some sort of like parking lot.
Yeah.
And how do you work that out as like a business, like a valet company? Like you started your own. How do you get into like some sort of like parking lot or space?
Yeah.
Especially with it being so limited.
Yeah. So before, I think it was 2020, the state created a valet operations like bill.
Okay.
Which essentially like put restriction. Pretty much you had to have everything that you're supposed to have to operate. Like before that, you could do valet and you could not have insurance. You could park, it was just like a crazy world. You could park cars on the street and everything like that. So when the state introduced this bill, now you have to provide that you have insurance, show that to the city parking authority. You have to come up with an agreement with a parking space, parking lot, parking garage. You have to have that. The garage that we use is owned by the city.
So you guys actually have like a garage?
Okay, so you
that's legit, man.
Yeah. So they allow you to do that. You write that up and everything, and they have a device that you can purchase that basically like do validations for the cars that you put in the garage.
Interesting.
Wow.
And just to take a step back, I think you mentioned this, but what was the main motive to start the valet? Like what? Because it's an interesting industry to be in. It's a necessity. So tell us more about that.
So pretty much it kind of stemmed from me just doing it as long as I did. I didn't really like intend for it to happen. Okay. And like I said, when I met John and them, somebody else had a valet company that was there, and I worked for him for probably like 8 years or so. Okay. And he ended up passing away with cancer. So I had ran it for a little bit, and then at a certain point, I just kind of decided to take a leap and start my own business, and I thought it would be cool.
And what are those hours like? Like, I imagine you have a couple employees underneath of you, maybe even some partners, but what are your hours like being a valet company? Because, some of those restaurants are open, I don't know, 10, maybe even later. I don't know. It's been a while since I've gone down to Little Italy, but just knowing the restaurant industry and being in it, some places can be open pretty late. do you guys like align your hours with that, and how do you?
Yeah, you almost have to, because you're working in conjunction with the restaurants. It's not as late as it used to be. I think when I first started, Sabatino's was still open until 3 at that point.
In the morning?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Okay, who's doing valet at 3 in the morning? I feel like if you do.
Granted, the valet wasn't the restaurant itself, but so every once in a while you get people, 11.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if
11:30.
anyone's coming back to valet at 3 in the morning, I don't know if they should be trying.
No, 100% no.
Okay, so that's and you said 3 restaurants. What are the 3 that you're working with?
Yeah, so the 3 restaurants are Chipperelli's, Sabatino's, and Benny's are the 3 restaurants that we kind of work together with. And like you said, Sabatino's, most of the time on the weekend, it's around 10:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So it's not as late as it used to be. But
And then where do you see this business going, or like what kind of goals do you set for a valet company?
I mean, my hope is to expand to some other locations.
Okay.
I've tried to talk to a couple. It's definitely a process.
Sure.
Like we talked about, finding somewhere to park cars and getting approval, because some of these garages don't have people that are inside managing the garages. So it's emails, this and that.
Oh, wow.
So my hope is to expand to other places, maybe potentially do events, things like that. It would be cool to get bigger.
That would be legit, man.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, so you have 3 places now. By the end of 2025, do you have like a number of, let's call it partners with restaurants or places?
My hope is to have, to hopefully add 2.
Okay, so be at 5 total.
Yeah, that's the goal.
It's a good goal.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many employees do you currently have underneath of you?
Right now I have myself and another guy that's like kind of officially on the schedule. If it gets busier, I have like a handful of people that I can call in on particular holidays like Mother's Day, Christmas Eve.
I bet you'll make a killing
Valentine's Day, days like that.
So you operate like Monday through Sunday?
Every day.
Okay, and then obviously holidays, like you said, are just busier for those reasons. Okay.
Yeah, certain holidays. Most all of the restaurants currently that I work with, like they're closed on Thanksgiving, Christmas Day. So those are kind of 2 days that I know that I'm not operating. There's some other days that kind of just aren't busy down there in Little Italy, like the Super Bowl or something is just one that's it's quiet.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
And so you've been in the Baltimore area for quite some time, like doing valet with John, knowing Mike, and getting on into all of those shenanigans. I had been in the Baltimore area probably since like I went to Towson in 2018, and I have a couple like fond memories. My number one is going to Auto Bar and experiencing that for the first time. I don't know if you've ever been, but like they had this I don't know, like special night called Two for Tuesdays called Twofers, and you could get a shot of real whiskey and a real like Natty Boh or beer or whatever, and you get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Right. So like. Oh, actually, no, sorry. It was just 2 for 1 the whole night. I was thinking of a different place, Wharf Rat I used to go to, which is also it's not open, but it was like a fucking staple of mine. I love that place. But 2 fers, you would just get 2 for 1, right? So we would get like, if you ordered a shot, you would get a second shot free, or like a drink, like a beer, whatever.
Rec Room was like that. In Towson.
Oh, really? Really?
I don't know if you ever went to that.
I went there like a couple times, but I
Thursdays,
didn't go out too much in Towson because like I was working down at Bond Street most of the time, and then like I would just explore some of those bars down in Fell. So I would always go to the Wharf Rat, and we were regulars there. And what I was originally thinking of is the Happy Meal we used to get at Wharf Rat, and that was a shot of rail whiskey and a Natty Boh for $5.
That's what the Happy Meal was.
Yeah, and it was
wow.
it was like Wednesday or Thursdays, something like that. And so me, my friend Chad, our old chef Zach, and even our friend Bacon and Will, we'd all get out work and go down there, and we were the regulars at the pool table there on like that same night every single week. And then they'd also did half off pizza. So we'd get a fucking shit ton of pizzas, Happy Meals, and just play pool till like 2 a.m. So much fun. But
what a night. What a night.
It was great. But Auto Bar, like Auto Bar, the Twofers, like I went there one time, and it's funny. It was when that song Tatiana came out. Do you know that song?
Yes.
Dude, the song just came out that week. We went to Micah. We went to Auto Bar, which is right next to Micah, and all the Micah students were there that night. And like, I'm not even kidding you. When that song came on, the whole bar was like bouncing to that beat, the intro, and I'm like, they all lost it. I was like, this is the wildest shit I've seen. You know, it's so much fun. But a core memory of mine in Baltimore, I was wondering if you had something that like really stood out to you being in the area.
Oh, what a core! Sorry, real quick. What a core memory, Christian.
Oh God,
I love
I'm
that.
not even kidding. It was like holy shit.
I
Like,
have
this
some
is-
core memories like that for sure in Towson. But
It's funny.
off the top of my head, I feel like going to some of the football games. Like I was able to when I first came here. My nephew was like 5 years old. We went to a Patriots and a Ravens game.
Okay.
And he was like 5, tiny. It was his first game, and I had tickets like not high up, but like in the back of the hundreds.
Okay.
And we like went to the concession stand, and this guy just came up and was like, "Hey, excuse me, is it just you two?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Well, we're leaving. Like, you can have my tickets." And like look down at the tickets, and they're like in the first row.
Holy
like,
shit!
Oh, this was like really cool. That I get
Yeah.
to take my nephew to, and then we get there, and like all the players are standing, and I have to like hold him up the whole time because he can't see over everybody
Dude,
standing
that's
on the sideline.
awesome. And how old is he now?
He now goes to Towson, which is kind of
So this was quite
Baltimore
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So he's a freshman at Towson.
That's so cool.
So that's
man.
many years. So that's a cool memory you remember, and that's really cool.
Yeah, dude. I don't think like I don't know. It's like hitting the jackpot. Me and Mike were talking about like those types of experiences when you go to like baseball games or football games, and you find like some of that like I don't know like obviously kindness, but like family kind of environment at the Orioles games, whether it's those people that like work the park and the seating and everything, like very family like oriented and got your back. And like it is a different atmosphere when you go to like a Ravens game. And it's funny because again, we spoke about it last week and how they're two totally different environments. And I was like, football is like really heavy hitting and like really intense. But it's really cool to hear that you had an experience that was like, hey man, like we're heading out. You guys want to get right up front?
Which was cool because my nephew became a Patriots fan when he was playing flag football.
Yeah.
And so he had on a little Patriots jersey and I had like on a hat.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, the Ravens person gave
Oh
a
my God.
Patriots
That's
person
too funny.
in the front, which is
So I saw that you were a Patriots fan. How did like bouncing around from place to place, like living and like being from Baltimore, Oklahoma?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Tell us.
like how did you end up being a Patriots fan?
I kind of gravitated towards them when I was younger, to be honest. Our family has a weird dynamic as far as teams, which is like, so like my parents are from here. My mother loves the Cowboys. My dad likes Washington.
Okay.
My sister likes the Eagles.
Damn,
nice.
dude. There must have been some arguments and some heated games at the household.
there.
So
Wow.
So there's a lot of bragging that goes on.
Bragging, fighting
between the families.
You want this knuckle sandwich? Like, I'm just kidding.
Are you still a strong Patriots fan?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get out. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I have to take it now because everybody gets to bash us why we rebuild.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys had a hot run for a very long time, and Tom Brady is like one of the greatest of all time. You know, like
I miss that guy.
Yeah. How did you feel when he went to Tampa Bay? Yeah, like good for him.
Yeah,
like, good to see him play.
Like playing
That's my
sports, I
boy.
kind of understand it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was like, I mean, it was amazing that what happened in New England happened for as long as it did, because generally stuff like that just gets broken up quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like once you have your run, it's almost people start leaving. And a lot of times you can't replace those people that leave. It's
Now, what do you think, like comparing Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes and like what the Chiefs are doing? I know we're kind of going off on like a out of left field with this or on a tangent, and I guess want to get your
sports
opinion.
talk.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's interesting in sports because you see people that are extremely talented, like Tom Brady, like the greats, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, all these people, Kobe Bryant, and when you see it, you just you go, man, that's never going to happen again, or man, somebody's never going to be that good again.
Yeah.
And it always, I mean, it takes the right timing for everything to come together, but it's interesting to see the Chiefs have all this talent in it, and it just kind of came together in a way where people didn't really think, like nobody thought Patrick Mahomes was going to be this good.
Right.
So, they have a chance to do something special. They had a chance to do something the Patriots didn't do, and nobody's ever done. So
I guess we'll see where the rest of it goes. But speaking of like great sports things here in our area, I mean, you're wearing your Capitals sweater.
I jumped on the bandwagon.
Okay,
but that's okay. I can admit to it.
At least you did.
And this is one of their really old school. Like they have, this is a vintage Capitals, but we can talk about it because it's an unbelievable accomplishment.
Yeah, it is wild because
so many goals.
So many, dude. Like being number one NHL history now. Roughly, again, it was like same amount of games that Gretzky played.
Was insane. I saw that the other day.
So like Wayne Gretzky, whoever's listening, sports people, don't quote me, but let's say Wayne Gretzky played.
I think it was like 1487. Only because I literally looked at it the day
games,
before.
Like 1400?
Well, this was for the amount of goals. Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, like let's say they played, I don't know, 870 games, or Wayne Gretzky did. Mm-hmm. He had the initial record. Don't know what the goals were. I think it's at like 895.
894 was
Gretzky's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then 895.
So let's change the number. Let's say there's 1,000 games that Gretzky played to get that. Ovechkin was tied with the record, one game less than Gretzky.
That's insane.
So then the game that Ovi played to break the record then matched
that's
the
crazy.
Exact amount of games. So
and like that is a statistic that I look at and I'm wondering like when will someone beat that, and if someone would like that many goals. I think again 895 goals I think is what the number is now.
Yep.
It's just unreal.
And it'll probably be over 900 by the time this season's over at least.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Actually, speaking of hockey, because like I said, I'm not a huge Hockey's fan. Grew up in Connecticut, New York, so I'm Rangers. Sorry to say, but with
Rangers
that,
fan.
Yeah, I know.
You leave. I'll finish this podcast myself.
The door is right there. So with that being said, just knowing so championships are coming up, right? Like, what do we have? 2 weeks? Does anyone know? 2 weeks left.
NHL playoffs.
I am not 100% sure.
Okay.
I'm not huge into hockey, but I pay attention.
You pay attention enough to like if someone talks to you about it, you can have a
maybe
have a somewhat knowledgeable
So it'll start
combo.
April 19th. So we got about like a week and a half. Yeah.
Okay. And not speaking of hockey, but I did see something on here I wanted to ask because I love dogs. So I did see you have a dog.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about your doggy.
Oh my goodness. I love the hat.
What kind of dog is that?
He is a boxer staffy mix.
Okay.
Those are like the two primary things.
Okay.
So he's a big guy. He's like 80 pounds.
Wow.
So.
And did you adopt him? What's the story behind the doggy?
I ended up getting him off Craigslist back when like there were a lot of animals on Craigslist.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not. When was that?
I got him in 2016. So I don't.
Almost 10 years.
Do people still use Craigslist like as like a tool or like thing?
I don't know. I haven't been on there really since. I think you could still look on there to see like if you want to rent a room or something.
Yeah. I feel like you can rent a room.
I feel like you might get some interesting things nowadays.
Maybe buy a couch, maybe not a dog. I feels like that.
Facebook Marketplace might have kind of
taken over.
Superseded.
I think you rescued him if he was on Craigslist in a weird way.
Yeah, because when I look back at it, even kind of when I got him, he wasn't really like in the shape of, this dog came from a litter, because there was 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of just said, hey, I'd like one of the boys, because I think it was 2 boys and a girl, or 1 boy and 2 girls. I can't remember. It was a little bit ago, but
sure.
When I got him, he had fleas and worms. So it's like, that's not something that somebody that so maybe the people found him and sold him, whatever. But so essentially he was adopted. So
and how old was he when you got him?
He was like a regular adoption. I think he was around 3 months.
Oh, so a little puppy. Okay.
Or 4 weeks, 6 weeks, somewhere around there. Yeah, he was a little tiny thing.
How old is he now?
8.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And what are some of your favorite like stops or things to do? Like I see you walking around the harbor, but like any like places that you guys hit up and
so Bmore Licks, they do pup cups, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I bet you every time he sees that place or
walks
by.
Hunter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he'll like if we go to the dog park in Patterson Park, he knows exactly like the route to go right.
You're trying to go to the park. He's like, nah, let's go right a little bit.
Yeah. So we would foster some puppies from time to time, like during COVID. So like we would take before the puppy would get adopted, we would take him to get a little pub cup at
great, man.
Bmore Lakes. He has his routes throughout Little Italy neighborhood too, where he like tries to get, he might get a meatball at Chipperelli's or.
Dang, like living the life. I was gonna say, what do I got to do to swing by and grab a meatball?
He's like, he stops by the kitchen door like.
That's so great.
I know some dogs like walking around the city, like they have their spots just like yours, like where like the owners or workers will hook them up with treats. Like a whole bunch of coffee shops have like little jars sitting there, so then you can see dogs walk by and they're like trying to go in because it's like their regular spot whenever their owner like goes out and takes them. So
that's completely how it is because, like I said, he tries to do a meatball all the time at Chipperelli's. Amici's has treats at the front steps and like a water bowl. And then there's Isabella's, which is a sandwich shop, and sometimes he gets some chicken there.
Living it up.
Waffleicious is there. They do like little pup cup.
With your dog, when's your dog's birthday? Do you know?
It's been established that it is in. We adopted him in June, so I did it like a month. So it's in July. The day is just picked, so that's the 19th. Of July. July
19th. Yeah. And do you know when your dog's birthday is? Or do you have like an idea of when you typically would celebrate?
Yeah, I think it's December. I think it's December 6th. No, it's December 6th.
Okay. So. Okay. Do you guys have like, what do you do to celebrate your dog's birthday? Is there anything like special?
Mine's very easy. It's just she gets extra treats. She gets one of my friends, Courtney, runs, not our Courtney, but another Courtney runs a business where she creates dog cookies. So we do a custom dog cookie. It's called Hair of the Dog Barkery. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's a cool
with a little candle. I blow out the candle, not the dog. But very simple. Just something nice and small.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. We've tried to have some stuff from time to time, but usually we'll do like we'll either bake something like bake cookies like that, or a little pup cup for sure.
Oh yeah,
make the pup cup.
Yeah, maybe a piece of cake with a candle or something like that.
So. The reason that I asked, like, I don't know why I just thought about it, but I was living with my cousin and his wife for a little bit, like, and our aunt and uncle throughout some of my like last semesters of college because I graduated like an off year, so I didn't want to sign like a full year lease. So I lived up with some family up in Mount Washington, and their dog Pack, that we were celebrating his birthday, and I guess it's a tradition that they go and buy him, I don't know if it was a McDouble or a Big Mac, and feed it to him. Bro, I've never seen any being hog down a Big Mac or a burger like that in my life. And like, again, now it's like, I guess his birthday routine. And I saw them they open up the lid, he's sitting there, they throw it, and he literally caught it in his mouth and then threw it up a little bit just so he could get it all down in one go. And I'm like, what? Oh, it was insane.
That's
but
pretty crazy.
It's so entertaining to watch, and like I don't know, just get to see your pets get like that excited over certain things. And like
I feel like Hunter, your dog, gets a lot of things every day. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, we try. I mean, because we're downtown in the city, like we're fortunate we have a backyard space.
Oh, it's so nice.
But I mean, he still wants to go for his walk and hit like the inner harbor, and he likes to stand up on those little, I don't even know what they are.
That's actually unique.
Watch the boats.
So you have a little grass.
There's no grass.
Okay, it's just a little
I guess there could be grass if you decided. I mean, I bought like a little patch.
Okay.
The little
is this him?
Turf grass? Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
And that's one of his
cute
spots too. He likes to come and sit on the steps right there.
He's so cute.
That's awesome.
And then he, like, looking at your Instagram, at Your Wheels Are Here on Instagram, is he like, that's the inspiration behind the logo?
Yeah, pretty much. So there was
he's in the car of the sign.
Yeah. So
that's so cool.
So I have from when he was like 1 year old, I have this crazy picture where that's like that's an actual picture of him. Of him. He was like sitting on the couch, and somehow his like hand, his arm was like rested on the side, and so I sent that to my sister, and I was like, "Can you draw him in the car?"
Dude, I love that.
She put him in there, so he's on, and then the other logo is something. So I have him.
Oh, I love it.
That's one of the shirts, and this shirt actually has him on it too.
Oh, dude, that's legit.
So
I didn't even see that.
Is he your mascot? Let's just say.
Pretty
Informal?
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, I mean, even when he was a little puppy, back when it wasn't my business, I would bring him down and he would kind of just lay on the steps. And
So does he hang out with you during shift sometimes?
yeah, sometimes.
That's a vibe.
That's awesome.
Bring your dog
like,
to work.
On those steps, I'll bring. Like, he has because he had so many beds.
Yeah.
There's an extra bed in one of the hair salons that's like right there.
Yeah.
That my neighbor owns.
That's
so,
a vibe.
yeah.
Have you ever met Mike's dog, Graham?
Yes.
Dude, if Mike brought his dog to work, I don't think we'd be operating as a real estate team anymore. I'd be fucking hanging out with that dude 24/7.
Graham he's the best.
I love
especially
Graham.
on the pie things when he's in the little turkey outfit.
Oh my
He's
god, the
so
outfits
cute.
that they put him in are hilarious. But so
I do have a
cute.
taco outfit for Hunter that we put him in on Cinco de Mayo.
It is amazing.
Oh, perfect. And it's coming up.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah, it's
He's
right
prepping.
around. Yeah.
Okay. He's getting ready.
I don't know how much he loves it. But
Yeah, I feel like
All
dogs
right.
are never really too fond of the outfits. They're just like, oh, my fucking owner made me wear this.
I think he kind of likes like some of the sweatshirts.
Oh, getting real
Okay.
comfy?
Yeah.
Well, if he's sitting up on the couch like this, he probably likes
Maybe-
sweatshirt. He might like
yeah.
beer. Like, get him, get him a
Right.
pizza.
Yeah, a little Pinot Grigio.
I love it.
Well, Chris, man, thank you for hopping on here. This was a lot of fun. I don't think we've ever like really even gotten to sit down or really talk kind of like this in a way.
Yeah, it's
you
definitely
know?
a different conversation.
Yeah, man. It's real shit. Like when we're at Guys Trip, you know, we're drinking or out and
Little
about in the
different.
city. Yeah, it's really cool, man. So,
Yeah. I appreciate you guys having me.
yeah, dude. And they can find you on Instagram at Your Wheels Are Here. And then I know you have your personal one at Wonderboy Wade. So hit him up. If you guys have any spots where he can like certainly partner with Valet, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
You want to get up to 5 this year. So if there's anything we can do to support your business as well, man, we're always here for that. Sam, how can they find you on Instagram?
Just my personal Sammy Burr.
Cool. And then you can find me on Instagram at Christian Deadhead and follow the podcast at the Baltimorons. And we will catch you next week.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Chris.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. For more information on the housing market, Real Estate 101, how you can leverage your position in today's market, and so much more, click on the link below. If you like this video or have a burning real estate question you'd like us to answer, leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you again real soon.